Usually we preach and shepherd the deacons and the large group leaders, and every large leader leads 3 to 10 small groups. They will minister to these group leaders, and the group leaders then will minister to their members. Nowadays, I usually exhort and minister to deacons every other day, talk to each of them through phone calls or FaceTime to know about their situation and encourage them. They do the same. We ask them to do this in the same frequency to their small group members. There are 2 pastors in my church and 7 deacons. The 2 pastors will go to church to record videos every day. We take turns to do this. And every day we post the video on our social platform and on our church's official website, so all of our brothers and sisters can watch the preaching at home. It is like we have Sunday worship every day. As well as the preaching, the brothers are greatly encouraged by them. Depending on the situation of the church, the needs of brothers and sisters, and the epidemic situation, we preach about these themes, so the brothers and sisters are greatly encouraged. And preaching is also watched and listened by many other churches across China, bringing them comfort. At the same time, we suggest our deacons to make their own videos at home or in the church to give emotional support to the brothers and sisters. So the academic doesn't cut us down our meetings. It is the opposite. And we have prayer meetings for the whole church, 2 hours every morning from 7 to 9. And there's a 24-hour fasting and praying chain. We're doing every hour pray as well. So I think after this, many of the brothers and sisters will be more willing to take part in communicating with others, to encourage one another and share with each other. Thank you.
And speaking of that, if there are families in need in the church, are there ways to help these families concerning their special needs?
Yes, we're helping some families in our church right now. Their financial situations were not great. Given the current situation brings so many difficulties. They fell to the end of their ropes quickly, and they can now carry on by themselves. Of course, the church will help them. Our church has always been devoting to social actions, including helping the poor in the church and outside of the church. Some poor are due to illness. Some poor are due to disability. We have always been helping them. And outside the church, we've held about 500 poor families. Of course, we would never leave them behind. The church is looking into that as well. Aside from the regular help and care, we may provide other help in times like this.
You have mentioned that your church has actively served community needs and found many unique ways to do that. In a special situation like this one, does your church have opportunities to serve your community?
Yes, because I took part in the disaster relief after the Sichuan earthquake in 2008. I stayed there for 3 years, so I have a deep understanding of the church's social care work. And I think it's very necessary. When I got back, our church established the first food bank program in China in 2010. We got it registered with the government, and it was recognized by the government. So this food bank gave us an open and legal channel to help families in need. Many of us may not notice this, but there are actually many poor and needy around us. They really need our help. So we've been doing this for a decade. We helped hundreds of families. During this virus outbreak, we continue to support them, helping those in need outside of our community. We have received donated medical supplies through churches both at home and abroad. Items like masks, disinfectants, and some sterilizers, as well as Chinese herbal medicines. We've been distributing these to the community. One can come and get registered and collect them. Hundreds of people have already done so, and there are still 500 people who have registered online and will collect them from us. We've been distributing protective equipment, including the sterilizers, thermometers, disinfectants, and all kinds of vegetables for distributing to the people. They are very grateful for our service. Because nowadays they can't get masks anywhere, even if you have money. So we're providing them for free. At the same time, we also preach the gospel to these people, handing out the gospel pamphlets and preach. We also noticed that there are some people around us who are still on their regular job duties. All the shops and agencies are closed in our city, except for banks, pharmacies, and supermarkets. For example, the phone delivery service are still open. They're still working on shifts. None of the other delivery companies are operating except for Shunshun Express. They have been delivering our very important daily supplies non-stop. So once we realized their condition, seeing that they can't even buy a decent meal anywhere due to the situation, they have been eating on ramen noodles. 4 days ago, we have decided to provide 2 daily meals to their staff. We provided very good and decent meals, which they wouldn't even buy for themselves. They were deeply touched. We also brought them a lot of protective items. Since the masks they are wearing are just the simple layer ones, it is very dangerous for them to expose in environment all day long. We provided these to them. They are very moved and touched by that. Some salesmen who work in the supermarket don't have any protective equipment either. We gave them too, and they thanked us over and over again. That's to say, we're doing our best to help these people. At the same time, me and other brothers and sisters, we went to see off the Canadian and American evacuee. When they went to catch the charter flight from their country, we helped them, as well as other people in our community who got sick but couldn't go to hospital for various reasons. We tried our best to help them. So I think in times like this, everyone is afraid. Nobody wants to go out. But if there are people who we need, we see them. We see it as our responsibility to express the love of Jesus Christ. We can really help them. They were touched often. These moments hit us that everyone could be in a desperate situation, like in the late 1930s, 40s. The situation surrounding the Jews, when they couldn't help themselves and in desperate need of people to lend their hands. Anyone who risked their life to help them became their hope of surviving. Although we're all humans, we're also afraid of getting infected. I still go out to help others every day. I wear my protective items. There's dozens of people in my church doing the same. Me as a pastor, I go out to help others. With another pastor, our wives, we're doing that every day. And we hope to encourage the brothers and sisters to do the same, to show our community by doing it ourselves that when others are in such desperate circumstance, we Christians should come forward. Although there's a risk being infected for us as well, it is not easy for us to forget the risk. We're putting our families in danger by doing that. But if we lend a hand to those who need help, it is a sacrificing spirit we learn from our Lord Christ. We must address that. We will not force any of our brothers and sisters, including our deacons, leaders, to do this involuntarily. we would never encourage or criticize them for not doing it in order to manipulate or force them into serving. Because we all have physical weaknesses, we just want to set an example ourselves to show that our pastors are doing it. We go out every day to help others. That's what we want to express. We don't want to use spiritual or moral big words to force this upon anyone. But we know that when Jesus Christ was crucified, He did it, not because it was comfortable or fun. It was because of His hope of salvation and mercy for all people. So He sacrificed Himself. Physically speaking, Jesus also said, "Father, if you're willing, take this cup from me. Yet not my will, but yours be done." That's to say, if we could, we wish God to stop this plague as soon as possible, or to wish we could stay at home safe. However, God is with us. He has seen the touching stories. He has seen there are many people in need. So I think it's our responsibility to do it. To testify for God, we're giving back to the community in so doing.